Hey guys, it's Tricky Nick here. The Nintendo DS was my first ever console, and I got one way back in the 2000s. Since I was pretty young when I got it, I nor my parents really knew what games to get for it. Of course I ended up with the typical new Super Mario Bros. And Mario Kart DS, but sometimes I wonder what was going through my head to make me want things like Brain Age and Wheel of Fortune. I couldn't even spell! So today, I thought we'd look through my Nintendo DS games and traverse the strange and mysterious land of third-party Nintendo DS games. First and foremost, I wanted to look at the first video game I ever got, Monster Lab. My parents got this for me when I didn't know how to read yet, so I never played it in depth until now. By the way, Mom and Dad, if you're watching this, thank you for all the oddities you got me. It gets pretty freaky in this DS game holder. Anyways, let's boot up Monster Lab. The opening cutscene is honestly one of my favorite parts. The grainy footage of the Mad Science Alliance recruitment video is just so cool. Also, I can really appreciate the disclaimer when it says don't look away from the monster, don't look at the monster, but it also causes me major anxiety and I think I'm gonna get a hernia. I can see why my parents got this for me. I love monsters and ghouls, so this was pretty perfect for me. So once I got in, I was greeted by a workshop and... This guy, Mr. Fuseless, lets us try making our first monster part in the workshop, and we have to weld the metal while blowing into the microphone to keep it from overheating. This was a neat little mini game, but I do look a little dumb blowing into my DS like a nut job. It's for Monster Lab! Mr. Fuseless also tells us the basic story of the game. This guy, Baron Marty, became basically a dictator and we want to take him down. Yeah, not the most creative. But who cares, let's go kill this guy. Then we're taken to the Lightning Tower to build our first creation. And we also get to name our monster. And I think you all know what I named mine. That's right, Vladimir Dekhanazov. We also can dabble in the biochamber and Arcanium as we get further into the game. Once we have our monster, we can go out into the world of Uncanny Valley and collect more parts to upgrade and customize our monster. But to collect parts, we have to fight other monsters. Turns out, this game is a whole lot like Pokemon, but instead of cute cuddly creatures, we get biological abominations! Yay! Mechanical monsters are effective against biological monsters are effective against alchemical monsters, and alchemical monsters are effective against mechanical monsters. I gotta be honest, this game is way better than I expected. Considering I barely ever played this game as a kid, I didn't have the highest expectations for it. This game is an extremely fun, customizable version of Pokemon, filled with tons of fun mini-games too. The game even had an online mode at one point. Why did I not hear of this earlier? Anyways, I'll be sure to play more of that game later, but for now, let's look at the next game. Let's see, what do we have here? Oh my god, Phineas and Ferb across the second dimension! When I saw this cartridge, I was flooded with memories of this game. This was one of the games I played a lot of. Alright, let's boot it up. Oh man, this music is so nostalgic. The story of this game is based on the Phineas and Ferb Into the Second Dimension movie. Immediately in the first level, I realized, this game is 3D Land before 3D Land! It's a little stupid why Disney decided to release this on the DS and Wii in 2011 when the 3DS launched earlier that year and the Wii U was coming soon. Either way, this game certainly breaks the trope that all licensed games are bad. This game features 5 worlds of fully fledged 3D levels. We have the desert, music, haunted, toy, and even tri-state area. Within every level, we can switch between Phineas, Ferb, and Perry. While this is mostly just used for things like character-specific buttons, I still found it exciting. I was also ecstatic to find out that there was a costume shop for each character. Gee willikers! I specifically remember World 3-4 as my favorite level in the game by far. This level puts us on a roller coaster in a haunted mansion, and we must dodge the attacks of ghosts and tombstones throughout the level. While the levels are really fun, they sometimes go on for way too long. There are sections where we get locked in and forced to fight robot creatures to progress, and one level can take upwards of 5 minutes. This may not seem like much, but when there are this many levels to get through, it gets a bit time consuming. The game as a whole isn't too difficult either, and that's probably just because it was catered to a younger audience. Honestly, I got a lot more enjoyment out of this game than I thought I would. I would love to see a sequel to this game with some adjustments to the level design and difficulty. Overall, Phineas and Ferb Into the Second Dimension was an amazing 3D platformer for its time. It just could have used a few tweaks. Alright, what's next? Ooh! Scooby-Doo First Frights! Oh, I'm so excited! Another 3D platformer! How do the graphics look? They look like Hepatitis B! Okay, the graphics of this game aren't its strong suit, but let's just keep playing. The worlds in this game are divided into 4 episodes, each of which consists of multiple levels. Just like in Phineas and Ferb, we can switch between all 5 characters: Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, Velma, Daphne, and Fred. Scooby has a sausage string to hit with, blocking capability, and the ability to crawl into vents. Shaggy shoots with a slingshot, has blocking capability, and carries a yo-yo to grapple with. Velma throws books, has blocking capability, and can activate machines. Daphne has hand-to-hand combat, flying kick, and can climb up poles. Fred has hand-to-hand combat, stun bombs, and super strength to push crates. This variety of character abilities provides for some light puzzle solving throughout the game, and I like being able to play as the whole Scooby-Doo cast. And to my surprise, the 3D platforming style of this game surprisingly feels pretty fun. Another similarity to Phineas and Ferb is the costumes. There are 2 of these in every episode for each character, and God, they're ugly. Anyway, at the end of every episode, we have to use the evidence we gather throughout the levels to conclude who the monster of each specific area is. I love the creative and fun monsters in this game. We have the Phantom of the High School, a giant robot, a sea monster, and even an evil witch. To sum up my thoughts on this game, I love being immersed in an episode of Scooby-Doo, but the graphics are kinda terrible. Step right up, folks, it's time for a Wheel of Fortune! Yeah, this game is literally just Wheel of Fortune. Where's the 3D platforming? The game is also pretty easy even when it's on hard mode. Oh, where are my pants? Dang it! I really don't know what I expected here, so let's move on. I Spy a DS game! Oh god, that was a horrible transition. I Spy Funhouse. I can see why my parents got me this game, because I used to be so obsessed with the I Spy book series. This game is actually decently difficult, and we have to find all the objects listed just like in the books, except now we have a stylus. The future is now! As you would expect from a game developed by Scholastic, there's not much here. After we play all 6 scenes a couple of times, we can easily just memorize the items we need to find, and the game has no replay value. I think I'm officially the first person to complain that I Spy Funhouse for the Nintendo DS has no replay value. There are also extra minigames that we can play, but these aren't really I Spy related. It would have been cool if they had something like the Wanted minigame from New Super Mario Bros., but I mean, you really can't do a whole lot else with I Spy. Onward! The last game I wanted to talk about was Cars 2. Despite searching through every DS case and game holder, I couldn't find this game. I thought maybe I was imagining this game's existence, but then I found the game's case. Cars 2 is basically a 3D platformer, but you're a car. The only specific memory I have of this game is trying to drive through a warehouse without being spotted by guards. I was truly terrified of dying in this game because it was so traumatizing to see that car get crushed at the beginning of Cars 2. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the game to give a full in-depth review. Maybe I'll do a full video on it someday if I can find it for cheap. Anywho, until then, this game remains in my memories. So which of the games that I covered did I like most? It's gonna probably have to be Monster Lab. It was a really fun take on the RPG genre, and it had a lot of charm to it with fun minigames and a great battle system. Scooby-Doo First Frights was a close second, though. The Nintendo DS was truly a revolutionary console. It had a boatload of third-party games, making it great for casual gamers and hardcore Nintendo fans alike. While I couldn't cover every weird third-party game in this video, I had a lot of fun reliving the memories of all these odd titles. We had some pretty decent licensed titles, an amazing RPG, and I Spy Funhouse. While this may be the end of my obscure DS collection, my parents were jerks again when they got me Pac-Man Party 3D. Come on, guys! So, if you guys want to see me look through my odd titles for the 3DS, let's hit 40 likes on this video. If you guys enjoyed the video and you want to see more, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.